bring force in this, and knowing now what look. Let's not confuse domestic tranquility with the courtroom. Wives do know everything you're thinking at all times. Your wife or your girlfriend knows what you're thinking when you're not thinking it, knows what you should think when you're not thinking it, and expects you to also know what she's thinking, despite what she says. She will say, don't listen to what I'm saying, listen to what I mean. But that's a domestic situation that we shouldn't confuse with the jury room. When determining whether somebody committed a crime, they either did it or they didn't. It should not matter what their state of mind was. Self-defense, of course, is its own defense. I say we get rid of the insanity plea. Just dump it. You want to hear another victim? Get this. We've got one of the most heinous crimes. It's not a heinous crime. It's just one of the stupidest acts and one of the most tragic events that I can recall happening. Some idiot was standing on the overpass of a highway, on a bridge, with a bowling ball, and he decided to have fun one day by throwing the bowling ball off the bridge. The thing hits the highway, careens off the front bumper of a truck, back through the windshield of a car going the opposite direction, and smack into the face of an 18-month-old baby riding in the middle of the back seat, where the parents had put her so that if they were broadsided by somebody, that she would be protected by being in the middle of the car. A bowling ball comes crashing through your windshield. The little girl is dead. And guess what made the guy do it? Beavis and Butthead. Because he said he saw Beavis and Butthead put firecrackers and explosives in a bowling ball and then throw it somewhere and it blew up. I don't care whether he was watching Beavis or Butthead. I don't care if he was watching Donahue. I don't care if he was watching Donna Reed. The fact of the matter is that this guy threw a bowling ball off a bridge and it killed a little girl. And if they somehow are able to say that he's not responsible for it because of a cartoon, we continue to take a step backward. Back with more after this break.
You're listening to the EIB Network. Listen to this. For as little as $7,800, Exclusive Vending Incorporated will assist you to immediately cash in on your own vending route business. Snapple Lemon Iced Tea, Snapple Kiwi Strawberry, Snapple Raspberry Iced Tea, and all the other Snapple favorites. Exclusive Vending Inc. wants you to call for your application immediately. Call 800-592-0770. This is the greatest vending business opportunity in the country. Snapple all-natural beverages in your own vending machines. Call right now toll-free for your information kit. 800-592-0770. Here's the number again, 800-592-0770. How can you lose? You invest only $7,800. Call now toll-free, 800-592-0770. Exclusive Vending is the sole service mark of Exclusive Vending Inc. Snapple is the exclusive trademark of the Snapple Beverage Corp. This business opportunity offering is solely through Exclusive Vending Inc. The Snapple Beverage Corp is not affiliated or part of Exclusive Vending, nor does it endorse this offering.
Fine-looking automobile, isn't it?
Just looking, thanks.
Just rip that price sticker right off that car, forget it was ever there.
Then why'd you bother putting it on?
Oh, they're just for show. I can knock 75, 80 cents off your MSRP without even asking my boss.
Well, thanks, but...
You got your factory dealer incentives, your dealer rebate, your discount for National Clean Your Aquarium Out Day.
I'd really just like some time to
Did
think
I
about
mention
this.
it was Nice to Wipe Your Feet Day? We got a sale going on.
Hey, could you just stop hassling me?
Well, shoot, if you want that no-hassle stuff, why don't you go on down to Courtesy Buick GMC in Goldsboro? They got no-hassle buying every day.
Where did you say?
Courtesy Buick GMC on Highway 70 East Bypass in Goldsboro. They got no-hassle buying on a big selection of Buicks and GMCs.
Well, great. Thanks a lot.
Come on down to Courtesy Buick GMC in Goldsboro. No hassles from the sales staff, no high-pressure negotiating, just the lowest bottom-line prices right on the sticker. No hassle buying at Courtesy Buick GMC in Goldsboro. It's a better, easier way to buy a car.
Hey, did I mention our Fuzzy Dice giveaway?
The same movies all month long. Stations you don't like. A bill that gets bigger as the service gets smaller. Sound familiar? Yes, it sounds like I'm tied to the railroad tracks and you're Snidely Whiplash. AIM Electronics has the answer to the TV blues. The Tar Heel antenna, specially made for this area, takes out both UHF and VHF frequency, giving you the area stations you want with great reception at just $49.95, and there's no monthly bill. AIM Electronics, 411 East Ash Street, Goldsboro.
Half-price savings on ladies' fashions now at Kleiners during the winter clearance. All fall and winter sportswear half-price. Shoes and boots half-price. All fall and winter dresses, junior, missy, petite, and larger sizes half-price. Save 40% on leather jackets, all-weather coats, and winter coats. Save now up to half price during the winter clearance at Kleiners, Wayne Plaza, 1800 block of East Ash Street. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. Kleiners.
By the way, don't misunderstand me. I think it's wonderful that you women know everything we're thinking at all the time. I'm buoyed by it. I mean, yes, I'm charmed by it. And not only do you know everything we're thinking, you know everything we forget. The world would not be what it is if it weren't for these marvelous characteristics that you women have. So we love you. We do. Kansas City, Missouri. Lori, hello. Welcome to the EIB Network.
Hi, Russ.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Triple mega dittos
Thank you.
from a Rush Room in Kansas City, Missouri, which is a retail pharmacy. But from 11 to 2, it's a Rush Room.
Good.
That is the days that our conservative owner is here.
Those are the
when
hours
our
he's
liberal owner is at lunch, we can listen to you.
So you have a pharmacy that's co-owned, one a liberal, one, but they get along. See how they compromise here?
They don't get along that well when it comes to politics.
Well, but they still seem to function well enough to get along in their business.
I wanted to thank you very much for the opportunity to speak my piece. This is fabulous.
Well, you bet. Get to it.
And I want to thank you for your efforts, your mission, your exposure of the truth, which I believe will result in success eventually.
You have to believe that. It's what keeps you going.
You're making some enemies, but you're making 10 times as many friends and supporters.
And I look to the sky each day and I say, Lord, thank you for my enemies.
And do you think I could get one of those whitewater loans?
You want a whitewater loan?
Well, it sounds like a good deal.
It does.
Yeah.
You get a loan, you get to report it as a loss, you never pay it back.
Right. Why not?
Sounds good to me.
Actually, the main reason that I called was I've been giving this more and more thought lately. I used to be more to the left. Now I'm kind of like in the middle, but this is the first election since I have been able to vote in 1976 that I did not vote Democrat. Because I just looked and listened and said, this isn't going to fly. So what happened to the moderates? It seems like...
Well, the moderates... You know, we should continue this. Can you hang on through the break? Please do. We'll resume this conversation in a short period of time.
This is Wayne Alley in the WGBR newsroom with closings and cancellations. Duplin County schools will close at 2 o'clock. Faith Christian Daycare will remain open as long as possible this afternoon. Seymour Johnson Air Force Base evening classes have been canceled. Wayne Community College will close at 3 o'clock. Evening classes have been canceled at Wayne Community College. Rosewood High School PTSA meeting has been canceled and will be rescheduled. Eastern Wayne Support Group meeting has been canceled. Eastern Wayne Swim Meet has been canceled and rescheduled for Tuesday. Classes at Step of Class Dance School have been canceled. ABC University on William Street and on Old Grantham Road will close at 3 o'clock. Rosewood Daycare will close at 4 o'clock. Kids and Company will close at 4 o'clock. Wayne Country Day School will have no after-school daycare. Young Olympian karate classes tonight will be canceled. Waynesboro Commission meeting canceled tonight and rescheduled for February 17th. Pineview Baptist Church Daycare will close at 2:30. Stay tuned to WGBR for updates and closings and cancellations. I'm Wayne Alley.
WGBR, Goldsboro's very own.
From ABC News, I'm Gary Nunn. The multi-billion-dollar bill designed to help victims of the California earthquake is tied in knots in the Senate still with no immediate prospects of movement, explains ABC's Vic Ratner.
While Californians wait for federal help to rebuild their homes and businesses, the earthquake assistance bill has been bogged down here in the Senate for days. At last note, more than 30 amendments to the bill still await action, and most of them have nothing to do with disaster aid.
In a subtle warning to senators from other states today, California Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein said the Federal Emergency Management Agency would soon run out of disaster relief funds if the bill is not passed by the time legislators begin a scheduled 10-day vacation tomorrow. An appeal from the U.S. figure skating champion Tonya Harding.
I just want to be treated fairly. Well, I just want people to believe in me.
Harding, in an interview for broadcast by the tabloid TV program Inside Edition, says what happens following the Winter Games is not nearly as important to her as the events of the games themselves. Winning, she says, is the only thing on her mind.
I'll prove to the world that I won. And that's the most important thing.
Harding vows to compete and win a gold medal. She hopes to have a chance to speak with Nancy Kerrigan.
Tell her that I'm really sorry that this has happened.
There's speculation Inside Edition paid as much as $600,000 for that interview. A hearing in Portland, Oregon on Harding's lawsuit against the U.S. Olympic Committee has been rescheduled for tomorrow. A $20 million suit seeks to stop a USOC hearing on her possible involvement in the attack on Nancy Kerrigan. The vice president of Michael Jackson's entertainment company is being questioned in a child molestation investigation. In Southern California, the grand jury hearing in Santa Barbara follows months of investigation into Jackson by authorities both in Santa Barbara and Los Angeles counties. Jackson has homes in both places. Members of a House subcommittee checking fraud among people who file their tax returns electronically have heard from witnesses today who say this is a multi-billion-dollar problem. You're listening to ABC News.
I'll bet you can learn a foreign language in 30 days by investing just 30 minutes each day. Care to take me up on this bet? Then call Cybervision, a leader in personal development training programs, to find out about the PIMS Third Language System, an all-audio cassette program which teaches you a foreign language without memorization. Call Cybervision and find out how to receive your portable stereo cassette player free. Call Cybervision now at 1-800-606-TALK. It's guaranteed for 30 days or your money back. That's 1-800-606-TALK.
Do you know there are only 44 sounds in the English language? 44. And when you learn these 44 sounds called phonics, you can read and spell almost everything. That's why Hooked on Phonics is so successful. We've set these 44 sounds to music, making learning to read simple and fun. So get Hooked on Phonics and take the mystery out of learning to read. Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
Cornflakes, just add sugar, milk, maybe a few banana slices, and now a few pennies more to the price. Kellogg raising prices on most of its 35 cereals, about 2.5%. Lines at unemployment offices are shorter. Number of Americans filing first-time claims for jobless benefits fell by 47,000 to 366,000 last week. That's the biggest decline in 6 months. General Motors executives are seeing green. The company earned $1.2 billion during October, November, and December, including the first profitable showing by its North American automotive business since the second quarter of 1989. Broward County, Florida is trying to make snitching worthwhile. The county's Crime Stoppers program offers rewards ranging now from $50 to $1,000 for tips leading to arrests of young people who illegally possess guns. ABC's Peter Dench with an update.
The Crime Stoppers program follows a crackdown on youngsters with guns and juveniles who have used them to attack residents and tourists. Under a new law enacted January 1st, police can confiscate a weapon from a juvenile who can be charged with a misdemeanor that's punishable by 100 hours of community service and revocation of his or her driver's license.
ABC's Peter Dench from Miami. Oklahoma Governor David Walters avoids impeachment. The state House decided not to censure him. Walters pleaded guilty in October to violating campaign finance laws. Wall Street, Dow Jones Industrials now down 14.07 at 39.17. This is ABC News.
Dr. Samuel Singer, independent doctor of optometry at LensCrafters.
I've been an eye doctor for 40 years. I've been affiliated with LensCrafters for about 6 years. I provide an extremely thorough eye exam. And with LensCrafters' 1-hour service, we can almost immediately see the results of our work. I enjoy seeing the same people year after year. It gives me a good feeling knowing that they are appreciating my services and the work that LensCrafters is doing.
LensCrafters, helping people see better 1 hour at a time.
For the ABC Information Network, I'm Gary Nunn.
Here at Goldsboro's very own 1150 WGBR, we love to make you a winner in many different ways. However, in order for us to reward as many listeners as possible, we ask that you assist us in a few simple ways. Please, no repeat winners within 30 days, only one winner per household every 30 days, and all prizes must be picked up within 2 weeks. Other stipulations may apply on certain contests. We invite you to keep listening for your chance to win on Goldsboro's very own 1150 WGBR, and good luck.
Across the region, we expect freezing rain and sleet to continue across northern North Carolina with temperatures in the mid-20s. Further south, the rain and drizzle that's been falling at times will change over to all freezing rain. Temperatures will fall in the south at Fayetteville and Lumberton to around freezing by dark.
We expect icing problems in the north with freezing rain and sleet continuing, and freezing rain in the south as well with lows 24 to 32. Eventually, all the precipitation will go over to rain as temperatures warm above freezing during the day tomorrow. I'm Brian Orzel in the Weather Center. WGBR.
Folks, we have an hour of broadcast excellence left, issues yet to be discussed that we haven't raised today, plus your phone calls, all coming up and continuing.
This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program, America Held Hostage. And now, from our studios in New York City, here is Rush Limbaugh.
With the count of days of the raw deal, the Clinton presidency. Day 387 today for the poor and the middle class. We call this hostage crisis. Day 406 for the rich and the dead. 1,073 days left for everybody. HR, is it true that Nightline is not doing their environmental show Friday night? Correct. So what I told you yesterday about Nightline doing an environmental show in which I was to be featured is not true. They're delaying it for some reason. What did they say? Is there reason for it? Some of their, I have been having a tough time lining up some guests, I'm told. So they will put off the telecast. Is it true that tonight is the Costas show? So tonight I am on later, Bob Costas. It should be pretty good. As I remember, it was pretty hot. All right, let's look at some issues yet to be discussed. I left out a crucial bit of information only moments ago when reviewing the latest findings in the Vince Foster death. Here is what I left out. After I had informed you that the gun used in the death of Foster, in fact, they haven't even done the ballistics check on this gun. I mean, they're not even certain, but the gun that was found in his hand has not been positively identified by his widow. Experts say that because of the age of the gun and the fact that its history is unknown, the weapon fits a description of a drop gun. You know what a drop gun is? A drop gun's an old, nondescript, and untraceable revolver that can be dropped by someone at a staged suicide or crime. This gun was an old, reconstituted gun that had been cannibalized. There were pieces of other guns used to replace parts of it. And this is from a spokesman for the Bureau of Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco. So they're even looking into the possibility it was a drop gun. Saturday Night Special, untraceable. Especially if the thing's been put together with parts from other guns, if it's been cannibalized. Or if other guns were cannibalized in order to, assemble this gun. You never find out whose it was, where they got it, or anything of the sort. This is big stuff. This is big. This is the kind of thing, if I may jog your memories, this is the kind of story that 60 Minutes built its reputation on. This is the kind of story that investigative news shows made their money on. Where are they in this? They're afraid somebody is scared. So look into it. Now I want to talk a little bit about this smoking rule. The anti-smoking legislation is going to pertain to every building in the world. Every public building, every commercial building. No smoking if the Clinton administration gets its way. But it's not going to really work that way. Henry Waxman, who is a congressman from California, he's big on health issues, he says that bars and other such places will not be exempt from this law. Nope, not even bars. For example, you, HR, you go in after a tough day here at the EIB Network and you want to have your usual after-work martini and you light up a cigarette, you can't. Now, if you do, if you light up a cigarette and some of the thought police or the health police that are inside the bar where you happen to be raises a stink, The notion here, according to Henry Waxman, is nobody wants to get in a fight with you, HR, or anybody else out there who would do this kind of thing. So if you would refuse, as the customer, to put out your cigarette, an issue would not be made of it at that time, even though there's the anti-smoking law. Here's what Waxman says. What will happen is that if a bar allows some smoking on the premises 60 days in a row, then you'll be able to successfully sue that bar for violating the law. So, yeah, so you allow smokers to smoke for 59 days, and on the 60th day, no smoking, and then start all over again, I guess. I mean, and then on the 60th day, you have happy hour all day as compensation to smokers. That's just, I'll tell you, you know what this is like? Or is a good example of, it's just how liberals, you can't take care of yourself, you can't live your life on your own, you can't take the risks of life. They're just going to make sure that nobody ever dies from anything. Have health care for eternity, Social Security for eternity, welfare payments for eternity, all brought to you by liberals. We have seen, ladies and gentlemen, in I think this is in Wisconsin, a lowering of standards for what is called the General Education Development Test. A study committee has supported lower passing grades for people who take the GED test. 17-3 vote, the panel representing educators and employers recommended reducing the GED passing score from 250 to 230. People who take the GED test are adults, mostly, who didn't finish high school and want to get their high school equivalent diploma. And the proposal for easier scores was approved last Friday. It would require those taking the exam to score no fewer than 40 points in each of the 5 basic skills areas. They're going to submit this idea to John Benson, who's Secretary of the State Department of Public Instruction, who is expected to decide soon what action to take. Now, this stems from a recent study by GED Testing Service, based in Washington, found that only slightly over half of a representative sample of high school students in Wisconsin last year could score 250 or better, or pass the test. Only half of them, a little more than half. Well, we can't have that. Only half the people are passing the test. Does that say, man, we got a problem with our students? No, it says we've got a problem with our test. Our test may be too hard. Let's lower the passing grade so we can get kids, or get people their high school diploma equivalent education. Just another example, my friends, of the lowering standards in education. This is a sick story. You may not want to listen to this story. It involves a corpse. I'll give you 5 seconds if you don't want to listen to it. If you listen to it and you're offended by it, don't complain because you've been warned. We're not here to shock you. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you don't want to hear it, tune out now or listen at your own risk. A 21-year-old Brazilian, unable to recover from the accidental death of his fiancée, confessed to having sex with the woman's corpse 3 months after her burial. Roberto Carlos da Silva told police in the small town of Sao Paulo State that his fiancée, Raquel Cristina de Oliveira, died a few days before their wedding in a motorcycle accident. 3 months later, he exhumed her body, which was dressed in her wedding gown, and found it to have been well preserved because of the chemicals that had been applied. De Silva said, "I was desperate and needed her." This is just like real life. No sex for months. She doesn't move. It's just like they're married. Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville, Tennessee, a centuries old. Are you people familiar with the Shroud of... What's the matter, Mr. Smith? What's the matter? Well, I'm sure you married people know what I mean. Are you, Look, Look, I am not married. I was only able to draw that conclusion from talking to the men with whom I work who are. I mean, one draws on one's experiences in hosting shows. Let's see. The Shroud of Turin. You know, I've been keeping up with this Shroud of Turin stuff. Are you aware of the Shroud of Turin? Is said to have the image of Jesus somehow burnished into it. And they've studied the shroud and they can't figure out how this could have happened. Because they've studied it, they've carbon tested it, carbon dated it, and nobody has been able to figure out how the image got there. Because techniques had not been developed at the time of the shroud that would produce this type of, it's like a photographic image. It's like something's burned into it rather than something painted onto it. Well, some University of Tennessee forensic researchers say that a centuries-old drawing technique could have produced the image on the Shroud of Turin. The bottom line, I think, is that we have demonstrated it doesn't require a miracle to produce the image on the shroud, says Randall Bressy, a specialist in textile fibers. Robert Deniger, spokesman for the Shroud of Turin Research Project, which arranged the testing of the shroud in 1988, said he welcomed the new research, but he didn't think it would shed any new light. Don't let Hillary close to this thing, and they call it the Shred of Turin. And then you won't have anything left to study. Let's see, Schindler's List. We haven't gone through the Epidemic Award nominees. Schindler's List captured 12 nominations for the Epidemic Awards, including Best Picture and Director. Other Best Picture nominees, and it's interesting. These are not mainstream, wildly popular movies. These are these esoteric arts and croissant entries. The Piano, The Remains of the Day, The Fugitive. There's a mainstream movie, The Fugitive, and In the Name of the Father, along with Schindler's List. The Schindler's List and The Fugitive are probably the two big mainstream mass-market movies. The rest, not really big movies. One of the nominees, I think, for Best Editor is Hillary Clinton. They haven't made the movie yet, but when they do, it'll be full of holes. I mean, you'll be able to see the slices. Let's see. Now, this is... I don't even know if I can get into this. There's an amazing story here about... You know, there are some species that are able to reproduce without having sex. Some species of life that are able to reproduce without having sex, but they've done some research and they have found that the females of so many species that can reproduce without having sex, still sex is better if they have sex or sexual activity rather than... this is tough to explain. Females of some species, such as beetles and lizards, can reproduce on their own without having sex. By producing only females, which is what happens, asexual reproduction should lead to twice as many descendants. So why do most plants and animals reproduce sexually instead? Well, the issue of yesterday's issue of Nature, a science journal, shows how sexual or asexual reproduction spells doom. Asexual meaning without sex. In the computer simulation they used, asexual organisms were introduced into a predominantly sexual population to see what would happen over many generations. The asexual organisms were subjected to two pressures that have been proposed as the fatal flaw in asexual reproduction: mutations and parasites, otherwise known as the Kennedy effect. And they have found that asexual reproduction does not do nearly as well for the prolonging of that particular species as sexual. That's a tough story to report because it's science and as such is infallible and also tough to understand. When we come back, we'll go back to Lori in Kansas City and resume with her at the point we terminated with her. What was she talking about then? Do you remember, Mr. Snerdley? Moderation. She mentioned moderation. Moderation in what? Oh, yes. She wanted to know where the moderates were in the last election. Back after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
My friends, I've told you about a charter advertiser of ours for the longest time, the Conservative Chronicle. They have been with us since the beginning of this show. Weekly publication. It features 58 of the country's top conservative columnists and cartoonists. I've also told you that many newspapers don't carry conservative columnists and how you'd be missing the writings of the most important conservative pundits of the day unless you read the Conservative Chronicle. Well, I urge you people to subscribe, and if you had listened to me, you would have read one of the most powerful columns ever written. William Safire's eye-opening observations of Bobby Ray Inman and his nomination for Secretary of Defense. And he's just one columnist you'll enjoy reading every week in the Conservative Chronicle. If you don't have the Chronicle, you got to read the New York Times to get Safire, and most people don't. You'll also enjoy Buckley, Buchanan, George Will, and others. Now with your credit card, call 800-888-3039 to subscribe. Don't miss out again. 80 cents a week gets you the Conservative Chronicle. Call now, 800-888-3039.
Have you ever shaken someone's hand, gotten their name, and 10 seconds later the name is forgotten? That can be embarrassing, and in business, it costs you money. This is Kevin Trudeau, founder of the American Memory Institute. Imagine in just a few short hours developing a photographic memory and increasing your own memory 500% or more, guaranteed. Students get straight A's with less study time. Call 1-800-862-MEGA and see why over 2 million people have already benefited from the easy-to-learn Mega Memory Home Study course. That's 1-800-862-MEGA.
Hello?
Hello, this is the Goldsboro Merchants gift check operator calling.
Be listening for your phone to ring. It might be the Goldsboro Merchants gift check operator calling with an opportunity for you to receive over $800 in dinners, entertainment, and services for only $39.95. The Merchants gift check book contains over $800 in free gifts and services from Goldsboro Merchants, and there are no discounts. All free and no gimmicks. This is the best dollar stretcher available today. It's just like having money in the bank. So remember, if the gift check operator calls you, say yes and order yours today. And you'll stretch your dollars while fighting inflation. Plus, receive a free 35mm layback camera for ordering today. Here are a few of today's participating merchants. Marlene Sub Shop, Arby's, Chili Peppers Mexican Food, Mary's Drive-In, and Willie's Radiator Muffler Service. Be listening for your phone to ring.
Some say the tradition started nearly 90 years ago when Charles Adams Jr. might have been the first to call Coldwell Banker about finding the perfect house. Or it might have been Charles III 25 years later. Or it could have been last year when Charles IV called Coldwell Banker shortly before the birth of his son, Christopher. Whoever started it, today more than 9 out of 10 Coldwell Banker customers are so satisfied they'd recommend us to their families and friends. It's a good sign when people recommend people. Coldwell Banker. Expect the best. Some offices independently owned and operated.
I remember being on duty. They brought in this teenager. He'd been in an accident, lost a lot of blood, multiple lacerations, internal...
At the hospital, they let me stay with Robbie. And you know what I thought about? When we were little and Robbie got the big kids to let me play in their basketball game? It made me cry.
I don't know if my blood saved Robbie, but I give blood every few months, so it could have been mine.
When was the last time you gave blood? The National Blood Resource Education Program.
WGBR.
And she's back after a patient wait. This is Lori from the drugstore in Kansas City, Missouri. Hi.
Hi.
Now, you wanted to talk about where the moderates were in the last election?
Well, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say about the moderates, but that wasn't the main reason I called, but go ahead.
Well, define for me who the moderates are, as you're referring to.
They're people who, the left side has some good things to say and some good ideas. The right side has some good things to say and some good ideas. Somewhere between this fighting and this,
wait
far
just a
left
minute. Wait just a minute. Just a minute.
Okay.
Just hang on for a second.
I'm hanging.
What did you say? The left has some good things to say?
Well, they have some.
Would you? All right, I'm willing to talk about this with you because I have a theory about this. Would you name for me something the left says that you think is good?
I knew you were going to
I'm not denying that you're right. Names, like, for example, Bill Clinton said the other day that we've got to get back to two-parent families. Would you say that that's the left saying something good?
Yes.
Right. Who's been saying it all along? They're right.
Everybody that's not on welfare.
So to say that the left sometimes says good things, I would suggest that most of the time when the left says something good, it's when they have stolen it from conservatives. But apply your thinking cap. Give me an honest answer. I'm sure there are a couple. I'm not denying your contention. I just want to know what you mean. Give me the left says some things that are good. What are they?
I can't come up with any examples right now, but there are some. I know there are. Nobody can be 100% totally completely
you can
wrong.
have a liberal that says, gee, it's so unfortunate there are people starving.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people on the right say that too. But the people on the left think the people on the right don't care about starving people. I mean, look, I'm not denying that people on the left have good things to say. What you're saying is that liberal solutions are sometimes good?
Can I get back to you on that?
See, we make you think here on this show.
I wanted to talk mostly about the military.
The military.
And your buddy got on the phone and told me to get to my point, so here it is.
Oh, so now you're going to use Snurdly as your out, huh?
Okay. There was a time when the United States, across the world, all the other countries across the world had a healthy respect for the military strength of this country.
That's right.
And that seems to be waning, and that concerns me greatly.
Good.
I am opposed to my tax dollars going to spend $6,000 for a marble floor and an elevator in the state building, but I am not opposed to my tax dollars going for my protection, the protection of the citizens of this country. And there were some cuts that had to be made. There was a little fat there with some of the officers and brass that were taking advantage of some perks. But closing these military bases and reducing the number of military people, we're going to get caught with our pants down, and it's not going to be pretty.
Let us not forget the morale that plummets along with these assaults, these cuts. Yeah, I've often said it's the strangest thing with liberals. Here they are expanding the role of the U.S. military around the world while in the midst of a major cutback. Expanding our role in Somalia, expanding our role in Haiti, getting ready to expand our role in Bosnia in the midst of pretty deep cuts. I think one of the things, though, that's crucial here, it's not that the world doesn't respect our military might. The world right now questions our resolve to use it. That's the big point that needs to be made, and that is a result of who's in charge.
Did you know that a car is stolen every 20 seconds? Don't gamble that yours will be next. With a proven anti-theft deterrent, the Club, you can reduce the chances by a staggering 99%, according to the statistics from McAllen, Texas. Why the Club? The Club's tough to defeat, easy to use, strong as nails, inexpensive, guaranteed, and the Club is available everywhere. If you truly want to protect your car or truck from being stolen, ask yourself this. Police say use it. Auto thieves say don't use it. Who do you believe? Don't be fooled by imitators. Remember, it must say the Club on the handle. This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
This is Wayne Alley. An approximately 12-mile chase from the overhead bridge at Fremont last night. It speeds up to 85 miles per hour, in which two alleged kidnap victims were tossed out of the speeding van, ended when the van wrecked near Griffin Exterminating Company on William Street in Goldsboro. Acting Fremont Police Chief Ken Barrett said the four occupants of the van fled on foot, but two were apprehended in the area of Alpha Arms Apartments on Paytown Road. The other two are known either by nickname or description and are still being sought. 28-year-olds Dennis Ray DeBrew and Daryl Johnson of Fremont told the chief they were tossed out of the van in the vicinity of the overhead bridge south of Fremont while it was running 40 to 50 miles an hour. They told the chief they were tossed out naked and walked naked back into Fremont to get help. The chief said it all began when the suspects inquired about drugs, and both victims were allegedly beaten. DeBrew remains hospitalized. Two 20-year-old suspects, Gregory Jermaine McDuffie of Walnut Street and Domingo DeMond Lee of North William Street, Goldsboro, have been charged with 2 counts each of first-degree kidnapping and assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury. Chief Barrett said other charges will be brought by indictment through the district attorney's office and that several other charges could be pending. A tour of the scattered facilities of Wayne County Mental Health by staff and board members revealed just what had been expected. Wayne Mental Health has only 9 single offices and 1 double office vacant in its half-dozen facilities, pointing to the need for more space. That's because at the moment there are 13 vacant budgeted positions, and the need for space will become even more urgent if those 13 positions are filled. Wayne County Public Library will hold its second annual reception Monday, and librarian Jeffrey Cannell says it will be an afternoon reception this year.
We've invited legislators, city and county officials, people whose opinion counts to us, and we're just trying to show them what we have at the library, and give them some idea about what we hope to have, the direction we intend to go in the future.
Wayne County Librarian Jeffrey Cannell. Pikeville Mayor Elton Hennett has been elected to serve on the board of directors of the Neuse River Council of Governments. Mayor Hennett fills a seat on the board previously held by a representative from the town of Mount Olive. The Neuse River Council of Governments serves an 11-county area in various ways, including economic and business loans. Wayne Community College's Liberal Arts Department will present its annual Winter Music Concert 7:30 Tuesday in the lecture hall on campus. The Weather Center forecast up next. For WGBR, I'm Wayne Alley.
Across the region, we expect freezing rain and sleet to continue across northern North Carolina with temperatures in the mid-20s. Further south, the rain and drizzle that's been falling at times will change over to all freezing rain. Temperatures will fall in the south at Fayetteville and Lumberton to around freezing by dark. We expect icing problems in the north with freezing rain and sleet continuing, and freezing rain in the south as well with lows 24 to 32. Eventually, all the precipitation will go over to rain as temperatures warm above freezing during the day tomorrow. I'm Brian Orzel in the Weather Center.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa! Let's go.
Rush Limbaugh.
Heading on down the track. We are on the Turnpike of Truth, the only information superhighway you'll ever need. Our good friends at CompuServe cringe every time I say that because they think they are an information superhighway too. Go ahead and take trips on both, folks. Here is Debbie in Arlington, Texas. I'm sorry. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Rush, and mega dittos from another woman who knows it all.
Hey, you, yeah, you got that right.
It's giving birth and getting married that enables you to have those skills.
I know. It's one of these. You nailed it exactly right.
I'm sure your mother possessed them.
Mm-hmm. That's in fact every mother and wife that I know. Now that you mention it, knows everything. This is true. They're one of the greatest resources, untapped in many cases, that we have in the country. You have a lot of ice on the roads down there still?
Yes, we do.
Well, I saw some videotape. I was watching the news before I started the program today. You guys are slip sliding all over the place down there.
Well, actually, we're home today. I'm out of school, and so are my daughters.
Really? Women are, wives and mothers drive so well too. On ice and snow, it's.
Well, I gave up some of my driving skills to possess more knowledge. So I don't get out on the ice.
Good for you. Anyway, what's up?
Well, I was calling today about the girls in separate classes for math and science. I went to an all-girls school, and my oldest daughter was in a private school where they separated girls and boys in both math and science through 7th and 8th grade. And I'm currently at the University of Texas here in Arlington. In some of my classes, I'm the only woman in some of my engineering classes. But they separated them in the 7th and 8th grade because they thought that the girls would have a chance to just compete against the girls. But, like whenever I was in an all-girls school, what you dealt with is when there are not boys around, you spend all your free time talking about the boys that aren't around. It really did not benefit to separate them out.
So, in other words, it could be said that not having them there was a distraction.
Yes.
Instead of having it, go ahead and answer that. I'll wait.
Well, I have voicemail and it'll pick it up.
All right.
Yes. When they are not there, it was more of a distraction because they were constantly thinking about it. I mean, they were constantly talking about it and planning for when there would be boys around.
Ooh, she's letting some huge secrets out of the bag here, folks.
But let me address it from another view. Whenever I'm in my engineering classes, it is true that I do not possess some of the mechanical background knowledge from playing with, the little dart guns or anything of that nature as boys did, or throwing a football and making it spiral. But that does not make me any less capable. In fact, it gives me a different angle of how to look at problems.
they may want to look at them constantly as they have dealt with them. The way a car works, the way a sprocket works, a gear works, and sometimes that clouds them from seeing beyond that. So it's not that one's better than another. It's not that we're not getting a full education or that the teachers are discriminating. And if the public...
Well, what is it then? The assumption everybody ought to be the same?
Yes.
That's
yes,
a fault here?
It should all... They misconfuse equal with equivalent. And that's a large problem.
You know, you got a point there. It's a really good point. Last night when I was on with Al Roker on CNBC, we got into this discussion of equality. I said it's a false premise. What do you mean equality? And I said equality is simply not possible. Al, you may be more ambitious than I am. You may do better because you work harder, whatever. I may outwork you and be better than you. What I